Hello, my name is Gina Profit, and today I will be issuing a rebuttal against Sandra Jones' argument that growing income inequality is a problem for both business and society. Sandra Jones made the statement that the pay disparity between sanitation workers, teachers, police, and attorneys is a testament to the unfairness of the free market system in the US. What Sandra fails to grasp in this argument is the basic macroeconomic idea of supply and demand. The requirement for working for waste management in Fayetteville, North Carolina, is a high school diploma or GED. Every year, 3.6 million people graduate high school and are essentially eligible to work for waste management. According to the U.S. Department of Justice, every year 61,000 people graduate basic law enforcement training academies and are eligible for local or state or federal law enforcement. According to the American Bar Association, every year 37,000 people graduate with a Juris Doctor. Higher income for different categories of work can be understood in a number of ways. Most easily, the larger the possible employment pool, the lower the wage. The smaller and more specialized the employment pool, the higher the wage. Unskilled labor has always earned less than skilled labor, simple due to the higher levels of human capital involved and also to the restricted supply of skilled labor in the job market. This is simple the principle of supply and demand as applied to labor economics. Artificially changing the nature of income so that sanitation workers and attorneys earn the same will only accomplish a decline in specialized education. Be honest, if you could earn the same wage flipping burgers as you could do as a doctor, would you elect to spend 8 years in school and another 3 in residence? Of course not. In order for skilled labor to exist in the job market, there must be some sort of incentive or reward for developing specialized skills. Also, a graduate student from law school can easily have more than $150,000 in student loans. So again, will it be fair for a doctor or a lawyer? I really don't think so. Similarly, when Sandra makes the comparison between FSU and Duke, she bemoans the fact that businesses that earn less are less able to compensate their employees. The argument boils down to the idea that less successful businesses should artificially be propped up with subsidies in order to compete with more successful businesses. Again, this will only accomplish stagnation and mediocrity. If all organizations will arrive at the same financial outcome, what is the incentive to excel? Sandra's argument that only the wealthy can afford higher education is absolutely incorrect. The Higher Education Act of 1965 enables anyone to afford and pay for higher education. State farm parking loans are offered regardless of credit history. To claim that higher education can only be afforded by the wealthy is to be grossly negligent of the strides the U.S. has taken over the last 53 years to afford average citizens the opportunity to achieve. Lastly, Sandra's argument that doing business in a developing country contributes to income inequality is misinformed. The movement of unskilled labor to developing nations is a symptom of globalized commerce and shifting workforce needs in the US. Keeping low-skilled jobs in the US will mean increasing price of consumer goods. For instance, Marketplace.org conducted a study on how much an iPhone will cost it manufactured domestically. The study found that it will raise the cost of an iPhone from $850 to over $2,000. The repercussions of keeping low-skilled jobs in the US were never discussed in Sandra's argument. In effect, As the US economy transitioned from a manufacturing-based economy to a technology-based one, the needs of the job market changed. Unskilled labor is not a priority in the job market. It never was. The job market in the United States today demands a more flexible, educated workforce. Unskilled labor is easily and cheaply found in developing countries, where the cost of production and labor is much cheaper than in the US. Arbitrarily subsidizing an uneducated, unskilled labor force is extremely damaging to the business climate and to the workforce as a whole. I think that your argument lacks of a basic acknowledgement of how competitive markets function, how supply and demand affects price points, and how globalization changed the skills needed to succeed in the US workforce.